Hello everyone! I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Welcome to Dreinthekitchen. In filming this, we're towards the mid to the end of September, so tomato season is coming to a close. So one of the things I wanted to share with you today is something we're going to do, one of my favorite, I call it my little French tomato tart, if you will. So I'm going to move back for a moment and I'm going to show you. So what are we going to need to do this? Super simple stuff. Your standard puff pastry, buy your sheets of puff pastry or whichever brand it is that you like. I tried looking for heirloom tomatoes. I could not find any. However, these are brown Kumato tomatoes. They're actually quite delicious. So to that, I've got some herbs, some Dijon mustard, some Parmesan cheese, some Italian seasoning, a little basil. Let's put it all together and let me show you how it is. Welcome to my kitchen. So here we are in the kitchen. Again, you're only going to need just a few simple ingredients, but I tell you, once you make this tart, you're going to make it on a regular basis. Do you have to use tomatoes for it? Absolutely not. This is freeform where you can do just about almost anything you want in a tart fashion. Take the principles and the basics. So here I am. It was frozen puff pastry. Of course, I let it thaw out overnight. It comes 2 sheets inside. And what we're going to do is we're just going to use one of them. Let me see if I can open this up without making a huge mess. But I'll tell you a secret. When you make this, it's not going to last. So sometimes I have to make 2 because one goes a long way, especially if my family's coming over. Yeah, one of these will last minutes. Literally minutes. So what I also have to the side is a parchment lined cookie sheet. Keep that ready. So here we go. We're going to prep the dough. So the dough comes, little parchment paper inside, set that to the side. Now you could leave it as is. As you can see, it's got some flour on it. But what I have, my rolling pin of rolling pins, is I'm just going to slightly roll it out. I did dust it and clean the rolling pin a little bit. I don't want to stretch it out too much, but I just want to flatten it a little bit. Just a wee bit. Nothing too crazy. There we go. And then I'm going to roll it onto the pin. And you want to do this quickly because the beautiful thing about puff pastry is that there's little pockets of butter in there. And those pockets, when you stick them into the oven, will create this beautiful steam, and that's what makes your puff pastry rise. So let's prep. I'm going to use my knife to make a little scoring outline. So we're going to leave, I guess, like a 1/4 of an inch around the entire puff pastry. We're not going straight through. We're literally, I'm just like hovering over the top of the puff pastry. It'll make sense when you start to put everything together. There we go. Then using a fork, we're going to make little holes in that interior portion. And we do this so that it doesn't puff up. We want the edge to puff up, but we do not want the middle section. And we're literally just, it's called docking. So you're just taking a fork gently. You're not going to abuse the thing. We want to be very careful because puff pastry is very delicate. So just enough. So now that that's ready, set that to the side. We're going to use Dijon mustard. This is, okay, little tips and tricks. I buy all my mustards at Home Goods, Home Sense, TJ Maxx, sometimes Marshall's carries it. I'll list the brands just in case, but whatever your favorite Dijon, if it's the Grey Poupon. So this is coming to an end because I use it all the time. So I'm going to use a little pastry brush, and we're going to just, in that interior portion, we're going to glaze it with the Dijon. If you have kids and you want kids to help you, this is a perfect recipe to have little ones do this because there's no knives involved. You do all the things, but I know my nieces and nephews love when I cook and ask them to help because they like to make a mess. And this is something that they really can't mess up. So it's just think of it that way. There we go. You want to make sure, oh, I'm just noticing you guys can't see it. There we go. You just want to glaze this on so you have a nice thin layer. Perfection. There we go. Put that to the side. So this is what you're looking for. You have it glazed there in the center. To the bottom of this, this is my favorite part. There's two things we're going to add. This is fresh. I get it grated in my Italian market. We're going to put a little Parmesan cheese. So there's that. Not too much because we're going to put some on top. This is just the bed. We're getting the foundation of our tart ready. To this, I have a little bit of Italian seasoning. Yes, I buy this at Home Goods, TJ Maxx and Marshalls. It's very hard for me to tell you what measurements are because it's just a pinch here and a pinch there. But I'll try and measure for you all. We like it a little spicy in my house. So I have Aleppo pepper. I'm just going to put a little bit on the base. It's this beautiful floral, almost like a sweet heat. Similar to Calabrian chilies if you've never tried them. So now, I'm going to put this to the side. Let's slice our tomatoes. These have been rinsed and washed and dried. I have 5 Kumatos. And the one thing you want to make sure that you have in your kitchen is a very sharp knife. A dull knife is your number one enemy in a kitchen. Look at that. So we're slicing. I'll probably eat the ends because I love Kumatos. So how are we slicing these? Let me show you the thickness because this is going to bake in the oven for about a good 45 minutes. You're looking almost a little less than 1/4 of an inch. And I know these tomatoes are very juicy, if you will, but that's okay. It's not going to interfere. I've done this countless times. Okay, so now that we've sliced our tomatoes, what I'm going to do, let me show you. I'm going to take a few and we're going to line them up. Oh, that one got a little stuck. Line these up slightly overlapping. I mean, ever so slightly. Or if you want them, you just put them side by side. Depends on the size of your tomatoes. I sliced up 4 of them because I'm probably going to make the second tart. And just put all those on there. I promise you, this is so delicious. Look at that. Look at that. Sorry, food makes me very, very happy. There we go. Alright, so we have 12 slices. So now what? We're going to add a little bit of salt. I didn't add any salt, but I want to show you some options. Because in my house, we have literally multiple of options. My trip to Alaska last week, we went to the Alaska Pure Salt Company. So they have this spicy hot pepper, for those of you that want a little something something. And then we have a rosemary sea salt. These are sea salt, by the way. So you can put, I'm going to put a little bit of the rosemary sea salt. I brought back some vanilla bean. And just look at how gorgeous that is. And the aromas is intoxicating. Oh, that's so good. And literally not too much. It's not only going to season it, but it's going to give it this beautiful crunch. And it's going to be fabulous. So I'm literally just putting a little on there. Set this to the side. Into a preheated oven at 350 degrees. We'll check it in 45 minutes, but it could be anywhere between 45 to 60 minutes depending on your oven. And I'll see you when it's done. So it's been actually 50 minutes it took me to have this beautiful tart. Absolutely prepared and gorgeous. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Take a look at this. Oh, I can't wait till you all make this. The aromas that will happen in your home are literally intoxicating. Now, word of caution, this is very hot. Don't do what I do. I have what's called asbestos hands because I'm so used to cooking and burning myself in all sorts of things. I can do that. So what you want to do now is you're going to let it cool. We've taken it out of the oven. Let this rest for about a good 30 minutes. Then what I have here is some fresh basil, which I'm going to put on now, because if you know anything about basil, it's just delicious. Do not cut this with a knife. Literally just take your basil leaves and just shred them with your hands. So little bite-sized pieces. The oils will release from the basil with the heat. It'll perfume everything. And it is absolutely divine. Of course, you could probably make it look nicer. But I just love the way the basil heats up, and it's just spectacular. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, then I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to show you how we put it all together. The beautiful tart has rested for a good 30 minutes. I have a serrated knife, and we're just going to cut it up, and let me show you how easy this is. So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. You can eat this as is. You can have it with a little bit of a side salad. This is just something that's good for any day of the week. It does not take a lot of time or effort. So let's just cut this up. I'm going to cut this into 3s. And you hear how crispy and delicious that is? I did check that the bottom was completely cooked through. So we're going to cut a little piece here. If you can see, let me see how I can see it. The bottom is cooked beautifully. It's absolutely spectacular. So what I tend to do, because this is just my style, is I'll take a little bit of the extra virgin olive oil, just put a little bit of a drizzle. You can add flaky sea salt if you want. Remember, we put that beautiful rosemary sea salt. I have my grated Parmesan cheese. We're just going to use a little bit. My hands are clean. Put a little bit on there. Now, if you're eating out, you could use a knife and a fork, but come on. You gotta hear the crunch. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. You taste the Dijon. You taste that beautiful rosemary salt, the natural sweetness from the tomatoes. Oh, this is dynamite. Pair this with your favorite beverage of choice. If you like wine, by all means, you can use a beautiful Chardonnay. I think a little Pinot Grigio would work well with this. But that is it, my friends. I cannot wait when you make this. Please let us know. And from my kitchen to yours, thank you so much for joining me. And I'm going to go set this up. We'll have this for dinner later. And I can't wait to see you in the very next episode of Drain the Kitchen. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.